On this episode of the LifeKraft Podcast, we have the dynamic Juliette Fourie. She is a businesswoman from South Africa making an impact on the business world by changing the narrative around leadership and community. Juliette has a passion for people, and in this episode, we talk about her journey from having very little resources to running a thriving business, what it's like being a woman in the corporate world, finding one's purpose, the importance of having emotional intelligence, leadership, and so much more. Are you ready to be inspired? Tag at the LifeKraft and at Juliette Fourie and share a screenshot on your stories with us of your biggest takeaway from this episode. How do you start to cultivate relationships like that? Because we don't really get taught how to relate to people. Sometimes we grow up in houses that were not that very healthy. We don't know how to communicate. We get into the business world. We might think it's this dog-eat-dog world that we grew up with. Then there's this cancel culture just everywhere. You make one mistake and you're out. And I think that what you pointed at now is so important, because relationships are the basis and the foundation of a really good life and business. And to have that respect, as you said, to have that integrity, as you said, and the ethics. How do you start getting into a mindset? How do you approach people? How do you show up? Is there a certain mindset? Are there certain skills people can learn? Because not everyone grew up as brilliant communicators and with brilliant relationship skills.
So I do think emotional intelligence is the absolute key thing, and you can learn new habits and new disciplines to be able to build relationships. You can do that. It has been proven by research. I myself, again, if you look at EQ as a whole, self-awareness, if you do not start with yourself, you cannot go anywhere. You can forget about building relationships, being nice, showing up, because you will be too selfish to do that. You will not be able to. You will not, if everything starts with self-awareness. Are you aware of your feelings? Are you aware of your weaknesses, your strengths? Are you actually aware of who you are, your identity? What do you need to work on? Where's your blind spots? What do you think of you? What do you think people think of you? And does it care? Do you actually care about that? Not making like a obsession about it, but are you aware that, shucks, I stuffed up now. I need to own up. If you're not, you're going to be selfish and you're not going to be aware. In other words, you can't manage then yourself. So self-awareness if you're not self-aware, you can't self-manage. If you can't manage yourself, there is no possible way that you are able to have empathy for others. So there's no social awareness. And then that leads to not building relationships. So for me, I'm an extrovert, and yes, I get along with people easily, but I'm also shy when I walk into a room not knowing people. I'm also conscious of when I have to talk in front of people and I know it's not my first language. There's also things, but I need to be aware of it. Otherwise, I can't change it, or at least work on it. But every single thing starts with self-awareness. And for me, the emotional intelligence model, that only came out in the 90s anyway. But for me, when I got to learn about it, you can change it, because there are a few things. Your personality is your personality. Leopard cannot really change its spots, but your behavior can change. Your habits can change. The way you are disciplined to do things can change. Your mindset can change because you are in control of it. You can be more self-aware because it's your choice. You can manage yourself better because it's your choice. And when those internal self-awareness and self-management get to a point where it is like, okay, then social awareness, empathy, and relationship management are a natural thing. So,
I love that.
You know what? Just be honest with yourself. We are so far from perfect, but we're very unique. And that's the important part. And when you are self-aware and you know exactly where you stand and you can manage yourself better, I know who I need to depend on. I know who I need to take with me. I know whose support I need as a person, as Juliette. I know I can't do, or I'm going to struggle to do certain things without a certain support structure or certain people or certain things in my life. So if my energy is down, I will know how to get it back. I know.
Wow.
Because I'm highly yes. And that starts with self-awareness. And people don't like it because we are so critical about ourselves. And you know what? We shouldn't be. It's not necessary. So it's emotional intelligence, very powerful.
I love that. You mention your team and people in your life so much. I just have to dig into that because we all know the stats when it comes to you are the 5 people you surround yourself with, and you won't take on only their good habits. You'll take on their bad habits as well. And when you form a team like at Metro Minds and you talk about your husband and your friends a lot as using him as a sounding board and having good relationships, how important is the team, the people in your life when you're a leader? How important is it to have the right people in your life to not drag you down, but to actually lift you up?
So here's the little myth about leadership, is that the first follower is the biggest leader. Your first follower, you should take care of those followers. You cannot be a leader if you don't have followers. So, for me, leadership is something that could be nurtured. I think there's definitely, there's some ability, but for me, it's like a nurturing thing. It's like being inspirational and what is leadership really? I mean, we can talk for hours about leadership. For me, leadership is definitely about who do you surround yourself with? I like to surround myself with people that's better than me. Because that can at least, I can learn something from them. A leader for me is someone who can make mistakes and admit it and move on. It is someone who's got integrity, in other words, being consistent, ethical. It's someone who takes power and builds something with it, not breaks something with it. Being humble, being passionate, and a lot of people will say, all leaders need to be charismatic. It's not necessarily the case. If you are doing something where someone is following you, you are a leader, and you inspire others. You are leading that, and you are leading conversations. A leader for me has so many aspects. But for me, it's literally, it's vision, it's passion, it is resilience, it's self-discipline, self-aware, high emotional intelligence, good with people, like people. I mean, hello. No, the people in my company, I hate referring to them as staff because they're my colleagues. For me, we're on the same page, we're on the same level. Legally, I have to, sign certain things and you have authority to do something at the bank. But we're all the same because we have to drive the same goal and drive the same passion. And if they don't believe, and the values, for instance, in our company, we created together. It was not my idea. We all have to believe in that. Wow. It's not just me.
Yeah.
So we spend a lot of time on those type of things. And we've even had a client which we gave their money back because they did not align to our values. And we decided we're not going to do business with them. And that was a very hard thing to do because it was a very tough time in our business. We needed the money. But you know what? It was so degrading to deal with this client that we decided, it's much more important for us to align to people that's got the same values as us. So value system is crucial.